My sister-in-law kept saying I was always arguing with my partner. One day, I caught her listening outside my bedroom door. I opened it and said, "Want to join the conversation?" She turned beet red and rushed away. I always had a feeling that my sister-in-law, Vanessa, was a little too involved in my business, especially when it came to my relationship with my husband, Mark. She had this habit of making snide comments, always phrased in a way that made it sound like she was just concerned. But there was something off about her interest, something that went beyond normal family nosiness. At first, it was little things. "You guys fight a lot, don't you? That's not healthy for a marriage," she said once, out of nowhere, while we were all having dinner at my in-laws' house. I nearly choked on my food. Mark and I hadn't even been arguing that day. It was a normal dinner, casual conversation, nothing remotely heated. Another time, she said, "I heard you two arguing last night. Everything okay?" That one made me pause. Because we had been talking the night before, but quietly, in our bedroom, with the door closed. Nothing loud. Nothing that should have been audible to anyone else in the house. I started paying attention. Vanessa had a way of always being nearby whenever Mark and I had discussions. If we were in the living room, she'd suddenly appear, pretending to be busy with something. If we were outside, she'd come out for some fresh air. If we were in the kitchen, she'd just happen to need a drink of water at that exact moment. It was weird. But I brushed it off as coincidence. Until the night I caught her eavesdropping outside our bedroom door. Mark and I had been in bed, casually talking about the upcoming weekend. Just normal conversation. But then I saw it, the faintest shadow under the door. The kind of thing you only notice when you're not looking for it. Something inside me went ice cold. I held my breath, straining to hear, and sure enough, there it was. A tiny, almost imperceptible shift. The sound of someone standing too still, too close. My heart pounded. I had two choices: ignore it, pretend I didn't see, or call her out. I chose the latter. I climbed out of bed as silently as possible, walked over, and yanked the door open in one quick motion. Vanessa was right there. Her ear had been pressed to the wood. She jerked back so fast she nearly lost her balance. For a second, we just stared at each other. Her face turned bright red, and she stammered something, but I didn't even give her a chance. "Want to join the conversation?" I asked, voice completely calm. Her eyes darted around like she was searching for an excuse, but there wasn't one. She was caught. Dead to rights. She mumbled something, some pathetic excuse about needing to ask me something but not wanting to interrupt, then turned and practically ran down the hall. I stood there, watching her flee, my stomach twisting with unease. This wasn't normal behavior. This wasn't just nosiness. This was something else. And I needed to know exactly what was going on. I didn't tell Mark right away. Not because I wanted to keep it from him, but because I needed more proof. Something about the way Vanessa had reacted, the sheer panic on her face, told me that this had been going on for a while. So I set a trap. The next time Vanessa came over, I made sure to stage a fake argument. I picked something ridiculous, something that would get a reaction. "I can't believe you spent all that money without telling me," I shouted from our bedroom, knowing full well that the door was slightly ajar. Mark, confused but willing to play along, responded, "I thought we talked about this." I waited. Listened. And then, there it was. The faintest shuffle. The sound of weight shifting outside the door. I yanked it open. Vanessa was right there again. This time, she didn't even have an excuse. She just gasped, eyes wide, and took a step back like a kid caught with their hand in the cookie jar. I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. She turned and left without a word. That was the moment I knew, this wasn't some harmless curiosity. She was obsessed with my marriage. And I needed to figure out why. After that night, things changed. I didn't just think Vanessa was obsessed with my marriage, I knew it. And it wasn't just nosy curiosity. It was something deeper, something wrong. But what did she want? Did she want to see us fail? Did she think she could control us? Or, was it something worse? I needed answers. So, I did what any sane person would do, I started playing along. The next time Vanessa came over, I acted like I didn't notice her lurking. I made sure she accidentally overheard me on the phone with my best friend, Lisa. "I don't know, Lisa. Mark's been acting weird. Staying out late. Hiding his phone." There was no truth to it, of course, Mark wasn't doing anything shady. But I wanted to see what Vanessa would do with the information. And sure enough, she took the bait. Not even a week later, Mark's mom called me. Sweetheart, is everything okay between you and Mark? Her voice was careful, hesitant. My stomach clenched. Vanessa had already started spreading lies. Of course, I said, playing dumb. Why? There was a pause. Then, in a softer voice, she said, Vanessa told me she's worried about you. She said she heard you crying the other night, and that you're afraid to say anything. I went ice cold. Crying? Afraid? Vanessa wasn't just twisting my words, she was making things up completely. I took a deep breath, forcing my voice to stay steady. No, that's not true at all. We're fine. But I could hear the doubt in my mother-in-law's voice. Vanessa had planted the seed. And that's when I realized, she wasn't just gossiping. She was trying to turn people against me. But why? I had a theory. A dark, awful theory. So I tested it. The next time Vanessa was over, I pulled Mark aside in the kitchen, making sure to keep my voice just low enough to be juicy if someone happened to be listening. I don't know how to say this, I whispered, forcing emotion into my voice. But I think Vanessa has feelings for you. Mark's entire face twisted in horror. What? I gripped his arm, shaking my head. Just think about it. The way she's always listening. The way she acts like our marriage is her business. And now, she's trying to make me look like the problem. Why? Mark opened his mouth, then closed it. I could see it hitting him. The realization. The memories clicking together. Holy sh*t, he muttered. And right at that moment, right when the silence stretched too long, I knew. Vanessa was listening. The house was dead quiet. No footsteps. No sounds from the living room. She was there. Somewhere. So I did what any petty wife would do. I raised my voice, just a little. You don't think she'd actually try to break us up, do you? A crash. A clatter of something falling. And then, a second later, Vanessa bolted past the kitchen doorway, pretending like she had just accidentally knocked over a vase. She wouldn't even look at us. I crossed my arms, watching her scramble to pick up the pieces. Everything okay, Vanessa? I asked, voice smooth. She didn't answer. Didn't even try to make eye contact. That was when I knew. Vanessa wanted Mark. And she was trying to ruin our marriage to get him. I felt sick. She was his sister-in-law. My family. This wasn't just some crazy girl with a crush, this was calculated, deliberate. And I wasn't about to let it slide. The next few weeks were a game of cat and mouse. Vanessa still tried to stir things up, but now, I was watching her. I caught her slipping. She tried to tell Mark's mom that I was controlling him. That I was manipulative. But this time, I was ready. I accidentally left my phone recording when she started talking. I let her spill all her poison, let her go on and on about how Mark deserves someone better. Then I sent the recording to Mark's parents. The fallout was delicious. Mark's mom was furious. Not at me, but at Vanessa. How dare you try to break up their marriage, she demanded at the next family dinner. Vanessa tried to deny it. But Mark shut her down completely. I don't ever want to hear you talking about my wife again, he snapped. And just like that, Vanessa's little fantasy crumbled. She had spent years trying to make me the villain. Trying to manipulate Mark's family into turning on me. And now? Now, she was the outcast. Mark cut contact with her for months. The family started keeping her at arm's length. No one trusted her anymore. And me? I slept like a baby. Because nothing, is more satisfying than watching a snake choke on its own venom. Vanessa didn't take her downfall well. For weeks, she tried to play the victim. She called Mark's mom crying, saying she had just been misunderstood. She told other relatives I had set her up. She even tried reaching out to Mark directly, pretending like I was the one who turned him against her. But no one bought it. The damage was done. At family gatherings, she was treated like a stranger. Conversations stopped when she entered the room. People didn't trust her anymore. Even her own parents looked at her with disappointment. And I could have let that be enough. But Vanessa had spent years trying to ruin my marriage. She had gone behind my back, spread lies, made me feel paranoid in my own home. I wanted her to feel what that was like. So, I started digging. Vanessa had a boyfriend, Jason. They'd been together for about a year, and she had always acted smug about it, rubbing it in my face that she had a perfect relationship while constantly claiming mine was full of arguments. But here's the thing. When someone is that obsessed with someone else's marriage, They usually have something to hide in their own. It didn't take long to find dirt. She wasn't just nosy, she was controlling. She checked Jason's phone. She went through his emails. She tracked his location. And when he found out, he was furious. But Vanessa? She played it off. Gaslit him. Said he was overreacting. Sound familiar? I didn't even have to do much. I just nudged things in the right direction. I sent Jason a message, anonymously, of course, with screenshots of Vanessa's little games. Her gossip. Her manipulation. A few voice recordings of her talking badly about him behind his back. And just like that, her perfect relationship was gone. Jason dumped her. Publicly. In front of all her friends. It was brutal. He called her controlling, said she was toxic, and told everyone exactly what kind of person she was. And the best part? She couldn't blame me. She tried, of course. But there was no proof. No way to trace it back to me. All she could do was sit there, humiliated, as everything crumbled around her. And the final cherry on top. A few months later, Mark's mom accidentally let it slip that we were expecting our first baby. The look on Vanessa's face. Pure rage. Because she had spent so much time trying to break us up, and in the end, we were happier than ever. Married. Strong. And starting a family. While she had nothing. And that was the sweetest revenge of all.